Today's topic of discussion is the game Cavern of Dreams. This is a 3D indie platformer that I discovered recently and thought it would be fun to talk about for a video. Without further ado, let's just jump right into the game. Right off the bat, this main menu is already extremely adorable. We've got our main character sleeping in the middle, and we've got the clouds as the selection for the menu, already giving me good vibes right off the bat. We are thrown right into the game with some small control tutorials along the way as we make our way to the center of the hub world. And the first control that I really took notice of was that there is a sit and eventually sleep button. The art style, character designs, and game so far are all insanely adorable, especially this magical wizard that we have to report to at the center of this hub. Their name is Sage, and I gotta say, their design is kick-ass. Not to mention our main protagonist Finn, who has a very adorable design himself. Sage explains that her siblings are missing, so we have to go on a quest to save their eggs. Oh, I was supposed to Oops. Not only do we collect eggs in this game, but we also collect cards, which unlocks encyclopedia entries in our start menu, mushrooms, and hearts. And to make sure that we collected everything, there's a checklist in the main menu as well. Our base abilities in this game is that we're able to high jump by pressing the A button twice, similar to how you can press the A button 3 times in the Mario game to triple jump. We have a roll, which allows us to gain incredible speeds on the ground and also carries back into our run when we stop rolling, and that's about it. Yeah, it's not rocket science. But I really like that about this game. I love its approach to a simple game design. It's really clever and it's really nice to be able to just use some basic abilities to get around and play a game. It's not too complicated and I appreciate that. While it is possible to get hit and die in this game, you can never really lose health or get a game over. There is no health bar and there are no lives. It's very forgiving in that way. You can unlock more abilities later on in the game with the more siblings you save, and depending on the amount of eggs that you get will depend on what move you receive. Some of those moves include getting a tail, which basically gives you an attack and increases your mobility if you hit the ground in the right spot. Jester boots, while not really an unlockable ability, still a power-up you can find in the overworld, which basically acts as those glide boots from Ocarina of Time, but it's permanent until you jump. It's really cool. You unlock wings, which allows you to glide, pretty self-explanatory, and if you let go of the glide button, you start soaring down really fast and you gain momentum, similar to how the roll works. You also unlock a horn, which gives you a ground pound ability and allows you to be immune to wind resistance, but only sometimes. And you get bubble breath, which allows you to shoot bubbles out of your mouth, and the sound effect that plays when you do it is adorably disgusting. What I really enjoy about this game is that the main collectible allows you to progress through the game. Instead of having to collect a bunch of random crap just to unlock a specific thing, collecting the main collectible will not only progress you through the story and through the game, but also allows you to progress through your moveset and give you more moves. And I think that that's a lot better system than a lot of other 3D platformers use, where you have to collect skulls or magic tokens or, I don't know, stars, like all these different things just to progress through the game. But in this game, they only limit it down to 2 things that you need: eggs and hearts. And the only reason why you need those hearts is because there's special heart doors everywhere that block your progression. But getting them is super easy. As long as you collect an egg from one of the worlds and you go back to the hub, you can hatch that egg and then feed it. It will open up a quick travel to that level that you just got the egg from, and it will give you a heart automatically for doing that. And you just gotta do that 4 times, so you gotta get 4 eggs to get them. It's not that hard. Not to mention, the writing is extremely cute and the dialogue is clever and wholesome as shit. Added with the sound design and music sounding whimsical as fuck, and you've got one of the coziest 3D platformers ever made. It's like if Animal Crossing and Croc had a baby, and I'm semi-addicted to this. So let's just see how well Animal Crossing holds up. The first level we got is Lost Leaf Lake, which is an autumn-themed level, and right off the bat, I'm immediately in love with this game. They also have a Kappa who got his fish food stolen by an evil bat, and it's time to get it back. I also realized that there is a body of water in this level, and this is how you learn how to swim, and I realized that the roll button is the same button used to submerge underwater. So you'd think, oh, like that just activates the swim instead of a roll, right? Nope, you sink to the bottom of the water and start to roll and run on the bottom of the water. And I swear to God, these are the best water controls in any video game I've ever played. This game is already checking off all the boxes for me. You've got autumn theme levels, you've got a Kappa who's feeding fish, and then you've got some of the best water controls in any video game ever, and it's just so fun and cute, and it just like isn't afraid to be what it is, and I love it so much about this game. Also, the sun has a face. This level works as a great tutorial for learning your moveset, but also poses a bit of a challenge for new players to master your limited moves to progress. Also, everything has a smiley face, even the poles on these platforms, and it's great. Also, I found this secret passage behind the waterfall and... See, this is what I love about these types of games. Excellent sound design, excellent visual design, it's really something else! All in all, this level had really clever puzzle design, and things that seem nonsensical actually serve a purpose, like the fish having symbols on their backs line up with this tree puzzle in the middle of the level. All around a great first level, so let's move on. Whoa. Now it's time to introduce our main antagonist of this game. It's a bat witch whose name is Luna, who's apparently an artist and has been meddling in the dream worlds, so now we have to follow her and take her down. Oh, what a fun little sewer puzzle. I wonder where this leads. Oh, dear God. With the logical progression of this type of game, we start in an enchanted forest. We move our way through a dreamy-like hub world, through a mysterious sewer puzzle, to arrive at our second magical world in this game. Airborne Armada. What? Yes, much like Banjo-Kazooie with Clanker, we've got our own here, named Mr. Carrington, yes, that's his name, who's a big, scary metal flying fish dragon thing with boils on the inside of his body, brought on by that bat we've been chasing, and we have to heal them with potions. The difficulty of this game actually rose a lot faster than I thought, and it's not even for the reasons you'd think. Well, yes, there was this timing puzzle that got me stuck for a while, but I eventually figured out you just had to unlock somebody out of this casing to act as a bungee for you to get up. The main issue came from the controls and trying to explore on the outside of the airship this one goddamn chain puzzle. Fucking goddamn it. The combination of the moving chain and constant wind was making the game go bonkers, and I couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't get it right until I finally did, and then the reward was a fucking card and some mushrooms. However, exploring Mr. Carrington does present a fun look into what the anatomy of a living airship would look like, complete with a cargo hold full of stomach acid and a heart chamber with clever imagery where you can drown in blood. This is also the first time that I noticed that Finn's expressions actually change depending on where you are in the situation you're in, and I think it's a nice subtle detail. And with that horror show out of the way, let's move on to the next level. Wait. She's back. Luna shows up again. Great. Apparently she's been painting all of the sick designs on the eggs, so while I'm mad at her for stealing my siblings, I'm also battling feeling like a proud parent seeing my kid learning how to draw. There's a lot of hidden areas in this hub world and even in the other levels, and it's honestly very fun to explore. Like this iceberg puzzle where I saw these little squares in the ground and I made 2 and 2 together and I thought that, oh, there must have been icicles here and maybe there's some opening underneath them, which is a weird thought process because those spots actually grow mushrooms so you can get to different spots, so I don't know how I reverse engineered it like that, so that's fucking insane. Regardless, it's a very clever idea, and I really like that I could find that by basically accident. We then enter a snow globe for the next world? Don't worry, Rome. I'll find a way to get in there. And now on to our next level. This is Prismic Palace. It's an ice world where everything is frozen, including this person. Apparently the person trapped in this icicle here had their eggs stolen, just like mine. And when I returned them, the world is revealed to be a snowy beach-themed level, which is honestly a really great aesthetic, and I kind of love it. The world uses a lot of interesting concepts, like a medieval armory under the ice with a laser defense system, and an observatory with a star puzzle where you make a constellation of a dragon. Also, I think I broke the map. The game is also starting to take a bit of a creepier tone, which I am completely for. The last level was a start, but this time-frozen room with a box... I swear I read about this earlier in the other level. Something about it being full of chaos, and if you release it, something bad happens, and I guess this is the result. Not to mention, even Finn seems worried about it. It's really tying together a creepy story here. Also, shout out to my man, the Gobbler. What's he gobbling, eh? I don't know. I never figured it out. I also unlocked a passage to the Lost Leaf Lake, and the level feels so much smaller now than it did before. However, by contrast, as fun as these levels are, Prismic Palace proved to be one of the most tedious levels in this entire game, and I kept getting lost, and I just couldn't figure out what to do. And it was starting to fall into that problem that a lot of 3D platformers fall into, which is just really subtle or out there answers to the puzzles. I had to look up a walkthrough because of how stuck I kept getting when some of of the puzzles getting more and more difficult to pinpoint how to solve them. For instance, you get this conch power-up that speeds you up underwater, and you'd think you'd use it somewhere maybe outside where a lot of water is, but apparently it was for this hole inside of this castle. How was I supposed to see this opening? My only hint is that you have a bigger jump height coming out of the water, but there's no other indication unless you get lucky. Plus, throughout the rest of the game, you already had a pretty decent jump height coming out of the water, so even then, it's not much of a hint. This really was one of the only puzzles in the game that I didn't like that much just because of kind of how obscure it was. I guess with enough exploration I could have figured it out, but I sat on this level for like 2 hours and couldn't figure it out. Anyway, I finally have what I need, and so we can move on. As I went to move into the final level and into the final hub, which is very creepy and eerie by the way, I found this hidden passage over here to a secret bench dream world. Just gotta sit on it and sleep and you are warped into this different level. It's a pretty fun sub-level. It's a little tree inside of this space with a bunch of dragons flying around. It's really cool, honestly, and there's a constellation of me in the sky. And even getting to the top of the tree is a fun test of your skills, though all you get is a card, so I don't know. The card is for Sage, so I guess that's kind of nice, but I don't know, kind of feels like a slap in the face after all the work I put into it. Also, a quick little tip for anybody just starting this game, because this took me way too long to figure out. If you want to gain some height on your jump, use the ground pound. The ground pound basically doubles your jump height and allows you to get to higher places. I did not figure that out until this level. I was like 75% of the way through the game until I figured this out. Don't be like me. The final level is locked behind a door. Well, how do I get in? Why would you lock the last level behind a hidden button? This is ridiculous. Oh, you just have to blow out the torches on top of the fountain. Yeah, that seems pretty obvious in retrospect. That one's on me. All right, next step. We just have to go down this hallway. Beware the hunger. Yeah, that sounds about right. You're a fucking pansy. Hey! Alright, just a quick maze puzzle, and now it's on to the final level. The Gallery of Nightmares. Fuck. Alright, time to grab this egg and god damn it! Alright, no problem. Just a creepy basement, we've got to get through it, and oh my god, a demonic drowning painting! I need a new pair of pants. This whole level is a gauntlet of what the game has taught you so far, and it becomes increasingly obvious that all mercy that was on before has been completely tossed out the window. I also keep throwing the collectibles that I'm supposed to be bringing to certain places by accident because the throw button and the attack button are the same button, and I keep having to retread my steps to their spawn point to get them back. Button. However, it is only required to have a minimum of 4 hearts to enter the final area, and they give you a freebie egg over here if you want to skip the rest of the level. And now that I have these 4 hearts, let's end this. Here she is again, our main antagonist, Luna. And apparently, according to her, Sage created these worlds and Luna was molding them to her liking. Sage had apparently adopted Luna as her own and then abandoned her when Luna started causing too much trouble, which it's actually kind of fucked up. In her rage, Luna sealed everybody in crystals, including Sage and my siblings. All right. Now it's personal. This final level is a running gauntlet of every world mashed into a single line with my dragon siblings distracting Luna while she fires Puyo Puyos at me that explode. However, the trick to this is that you have to nail it in one run, so don't fuck it up. However, if you just slow down, be calm, be patient, avoid the Puyo Puyo missile things, then you'll be fine and you'll get through it. All right, I caught up to her. Time to finally put Luna in her place. Or we can hug it out. That works too. After apologies are exchanged, we're able to fly out of the Cavern of Dreams and leave to end the game. All is well, everyone is okay, and the game rolls its credits. I honestly had a lot of fun with this game. It's very imaginative, and the challenges complement the limited moveset very well. The game isn't perfect, obviously. I had some small issues. The jump is a tiny bit delayed, and I ended up falling off ledges a lot more than I wish I did. I spun this little valve here, and yeah, that happened. Sometimes the grab doesn't grab, like with this chain area. I broke the game with the glide more times than I can count. And also this 1-star mimic puzzle that, while I had the right idea, I still had to look up because it was very uber specific, but I would say that's more of a skill issue than an issue on the game. I did have to look up a walkthrough quite a few times while playing this game just because I kept getting lost, but that's a common problem with a lot of collectathons is that sometimes the answer to the puzzle is not always immediately obvious, which is fine, obviously. You want a bit of challenge to your game. game. But there are times where the limit of knowledge to what you need to know gets stretched just a little bit. However, the Cavern of Dreams is a really well-made game with a beautiful aesthetic, and you will buy this game. Great job, Bioprism Studios. I look forward to future releases. And with that, we've reached the end of our video, so make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you all so much for watching, and sweet dreams.